All right. Okay, so today is Thursday, May 9th, and this is a meeting to check in on design and usability tasks related to Backdrop Core. Starting first with our website. The last time we had this meeting, we talked about adding a section to the homepage on upgrading from Drupal 7. That section has been added. There are 3 elements that all link to respective other parts of the Backdrop site to hopefully help answer people's questions on what is the difference between Backdrop and Drupal and what is it like to move there or move from Drupal to Backdrop. The next option on the list here is the sandbox demo, and I don't really know where that stands. Nate, do you have an update on that? Is it like working still sometimes, or has that been fixed too? No, I don't know. You're muted. You've lost the window.
Yes, you got it. Yeah, it's still intermittent. So same as before.
And we don't know why. Is it something to do with Tugboat? I mean, we thought it was to do with our PHP version, and then that wasn't it. And then we thought it was to do with our key, and that wasn't it. And now are we sort of back to ground zero in terms of understanding why it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't?
Well, the key was why it wasn't working every time.
Wow.
Now it's back to working some of the time. So yes, we're not quite sure what is the cause at this point.
Does Tugboat have a public issue queue?
No, unfortunately.
How do people know if there's a problem with it?
I think that they send me an email.
Rage tweet.
Rage tweet works too. Yep. Rage tweeting about the lack of a public issue queue is also an option.
All right. So we'll work on that. Next item on the list is improving the user experience for modules, themes, and layouts. We've done a bunch of work on backdropcms.org lately, so I think that branch needs a rebase and also a retest to make sure that everything is still going to work, but that is underway. And then we have another item here for documenting the upgrade path for contrib modules. This is just a sort of a documentation issue, but it does really affect user experience because people are going to want to know what are the exact steps they need to follow to get from module A to module B, or module A on Backdrop to module A in Drupal, the other way around. Anyway, the problem is that a lot of the modules that have been moved into core do not have upgrade paths in core. So this is tied to a development task where right now we need to create the documentation and say, coming soon, upgrade path, but for now, and then just describe what to do. And as those upgrade paths get merged into core, those will contain a needs documentation update label. So they'll get moved in and then the documentation will get updated. So we just have a lot of writing stuff to do currently. There's a meta issue there, it's number 527. We'll probably also require a bunch of testing stuff. So that's something that's gonna be a little bit time consuming, but probably well worth it. It's on my list of things to do, but hasn't been getting very much attention lately. If anyone else wants to jump in, that's I think something that would be best done by more people anyway, just to make sure that the things that one of us writes are accurate. So that's it for things that are going on backdropcms.org. I did want to add a couple of things that we added because of our outreach meeting last week, which was we put in a new module. It's not enabled yet, that will add a checkbox on the user profile form, and that's so that you can sign up more easily to our MailChimp mailing list. And so one thing I would like to do is once we get that enabled, it'll be on by default for all new user accounts. So hopefully that'll encourage more people to sign up. It'll be on the registration form itself so that you can opt out if you don't want to be on it automatically. But I would also like to send an email to everybody who's already a member of backdropcms.org and let them know about the mailing list, but I'm not entirely sure how legal that is. So we're going to do a little research. Can we market to the people that haven't agreed to be marketed to, asking if we can market to them? I don't know. It's a little questionable. I think if we only do it once, it's probably fine. But our marketing team is looking into that. But that'll be good because then people will have an easier way to opt in and out directly from their profile. We also added a sign up link in our header, and we changed the design of the box in the footer, which were two things that were recommended. And we're also working on finding other places on the site where we need to promote this. Tim, you mentioned the resources page. Really good to have newsletter sign up there. Anywhere else we think we want to promote it that might be relevant, we will add it as well. So there's an issue for that. I don't think I linked it here, but we'll do it somewhere. Okay, that's it for backdropcms.org. For have a handful of user experience issues that are slated for the 1.13 release, which is next week. Two of them are still underway. One of them is adding an exposed filter to the media browser that will let you search by file name. So if you have a site that has a gazillion files and you know exactly what the file name is, if you had a search box there where you could type in that file name and filter down that list, I think that would be really helpful. That issue does not have a pull request yet, so it is not looking super likely to get in, but it is the kind of thing that if we were to get it in, it could go in right away. It will require a change to the view and then also an upgrade path for anyone who already has the view to see if it's been overridden or not. If it hasn't been overridden, we'll replace it. If it has been overridden, we won't touch it. So that could be a little tricky, the pull request part of it, or the upgrade path part of it. And then the other thing we have for user experience issues on core is to convert the comment listing to a view. This is a long-standing issue. It's number 549. It's been around for a while. The problem is that the comment listing in core provides a couple of additional pieces of functionality that a view cannot provide. In particular, it gives us a count of like how many unpublished comments are in a menu tab. And adding dynamic things into menu tabs is really hard, so we don't do that from within views. But it might be the kind of thing that we could put in with like a menu alter and change like the thing to a callback functions instead of being a string or something. But there are a bunch of people on the issue that are wondering how much value that count provides and if we need to be putting in extra work to maintaining the feature that was there before or not. So that issue is currently currently labeled needs feedback so that you can weigh in if you use comments and you really like relying on the counts of how many are published and unpublished, then please weigh in on that issue and let us know if you want that feature to remain. And if so, that might not make the 1.13 deadline because we have a little more work to do on that. And then we have, I put a couple of links here to usability issues. There's a bunch, those are the only two usability issues that are slated for 1.13, but there are a bunch of usability issues that are slated for 1.12.7. Some of them have pull requests and just need testing. Some of them are just ideas that we think are important, haven't been in yet, and some of them have old pull requests that need to be updated. So if you're really passionate about usability, there's probably a bunch of low-hanging fruit there if you want to dive in and see what you're passionate about, you want to get fixed. Okay, for design issues, there's only one design issue currently slated for 1.13, and that is adding predefined color schemes to basis. I've looked at this pull request a bunch of times. I think it looks great. I've tried it out. I've tested all the color schemes. I've made recommendations on changes that would improve accessibility. I think it's looking really good. There's only one thing that I think I might need some help with, and that's if you choose the goldfish theme, the footer has like a dark green background with darker green text and dark orange link text. And I can't figure out how to change it to make all those things readable, like based on the other colors we have. So that means we're gonna need a new color, which my brain can't handle, or we're gonna need somebody else to recommend a potential change to that footer to make it more legible. So feedback, if anyone has any thoughts on how to handle colors. I'm pretty good at picking from an existing color set and being like, of these four, this one looks better. But if I don't have four to choose from, my brain explodes because there's too many options. So if anyone wants to help weigh in on that one, that's the only thing that I think is preventing that from getting committed. The pull request looks really solid in terms of code. It's just a color change issue. And then we have a design tag that you can use to search all issues on GitHub if you want to see other things related to design. In general, these are things where we don't necessarily need any code from designers. If you're a designer that can code, that's great. But what we really need is help figuring out aesthetically, how do we improve thing X? So if you're someone who knows how to improve things aesthetically, you could really use your feedback on any issues that are tagged with design. So put an issue in here for that as well. So that is it for Backdrop Core. We have a small list of other areas where we can use designers that are not related to the product. And those include creating a pop-up banner that we could take to events, designing stickers specifically for the glowing apple on the back of a Mac computer, or helping get business cards out. I think we have a design for business cards if anyone wants to be able to hand out cards with more information about Backdrop on it. But we got them printed cheaply through Vistaprint and it came out pretty badly. But if anyone wants to take a stab at updating those or finding a better place to get them printed, that's also could use some revisiting. So that's it for design and usability related issues. I did pare down all the ones we're talking about. They're only ones that are scheduled for 1.13, which comes out next week. But as you guys know, the 1.12.7 release also comes out the same day as 1.13, and there are a whole bunch of usability issues for 1.12.7. So I didn't want to go through all of them in this meeting. It's sort of, what gets done, what gets done. They're not as high priority as 1.13 because if they don't get done in 1.12.7, they can come out in 1.13.1, which will be really soon after 1.13, or at least much sooner than 1.14 would be. So they're there. If you want to work on them, that's great. But if not, they can wait. And they don't have to wait too long. All right, that's it. We now have a sort of open Q&A section. So if anyone wants to bring up anything to discuss that's related to design or usability, we can do that. You don't have to do that.
I have one thing. I was curious about the stickers issue.
Yeah.
Is drop always black?
No.
Are there other shades of drop type dragons?
Yeah, so we have 4 colors of drop currently. They're in this mystery Dropbox that nobody can find, where we have all these like backdrop assets. I think it's like linked from some page somewhere on our website, but it's always really hard to find, or an issue queue or something.
Is that a double entendre Dropbox there? Or?
No, it's just people often call backdrop Dropbox by accident, so I try not to use Dropbox very much when I'm talking about backdrop. But Drop the Dragon currently is available in 4 colors, but it can be in any color you want because dragons come in lots of colors, right? So there is plenty of artistic license there. We have the 4 colors we chose are sort of on brand for backdrop, like they match the 4 colors that will appear around our website, the green and the blue, and I think there's a red one in addition to black. But that is not like anyone can do whatever they want with Drop. It's an open source imagery. You can use your own colors. You can make them wear a cape or bunny ears or whatever you want. But yeah, so artistic license is welcome.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Only about drop, but I'll. Do dragons live in caves, for example? Is it the drop cave?
Well, Drop is a lap dragon, so Drop prefers the like cushy life of living in a house and like having soft things to sleep on. But there are, plenty of dragons that live in caves. Maybe as Drop gets older, Drop will decide that it wants to spend more time in a cave and less time in a lap. But
all right.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and end this meeting. We meet again in just over 15 minutes to talk about core development tasks. Between now and then, I'm going to try and rebase that branch for modules page updates and see if I can get that somewhere for testing.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.